I call the member for Balmain in reply.
Mr Temporary Speaker, thank you very much. Mr Temporary Speaker, I'd like to thank the members for Wyong, Marrickville and Clarence for speaking on this issue today. I'd like to acknowledge the positive approach which members from the government and opposition has taken to this motion, and there are quite a few elements which we can all agree on. Firstly, that early childhood education is important for the community, and in particular children from disadvantaged backgrounds. And the member for Clarence outlined in particular the importance of quality. The quality provision of this service is absolutely critical. And I note the member for Clarence's discussion in particular in terms of Indigenous children and the excellent increases in participation from that sector of our community. It's also important to notice, as was raised by the member for Wyong, that affordability is a key issue, and I'll be just returning to that briefly. Finally, the member for Marrickville outlined the role of the former government and that the previous government did take some positive steps in this area. I understand that the current government is also following through to make sure that the commitment from the COAG reform, the COAG process, is being carried out. But Mr Temporary Speaker, I've just moved to the issue of quality, of affordability, because we know, as I mentioned in my opening speech, that the 2012 report on Australian Government Services, New South Wales, indicated that this state has the highest proportion of private fee-paying preschools of any state, 40%. And we know that affordability is a critical issue, so this, in fact, is a major challenge for this state. And the member for Marrickville raised, as I did, that the announcement in 2011 that fees will be charged in Department of Education schools based on their ICSIA rating, with fees ranging up to $40 per day depending on the status of the community, this has had a significant impact. This has had a significant impact on my community with the publicly provided preschools, but it's also had a perverse impact, because you can have a resident living in my community who lives in social housing, who is on some form of benefit, who pays a higher fee than exactly the same person in exactly the same financial condition in an area which has a lower ICSIA rating. It has no reflection on their income or on their status. What it depends on is the ICSIA rating. So a person in my electorate who might live in the Glebe estate will be paying more in exactly the same financial situation as someone living, for example, a social housing environment in a different community which has a lower ICSIA rating. That's an anomaly I think that the Minister needs to address. The other point that I might say, Mr Temporary Speaker, is that I understand, as I mentioned, the Federation is doing a survey, and I would hope, and I'd say this with goodwill, that the Minister for Education address the impact of these fees if there is a significant reduction in preschool participation. And I understand the Minister, in a meeting that was held recently in the Jubilee Room when this was introduced with the Federation, said that they will be looking at this impact and looking at this data, and I take him on his word. I know that he will do that, and I encourage him to look at those details very closely to see if there is a negative impact as a result of this policy decision. So, Mr Temporary Speaker, can I thank the House and the members that have made a contribution to this debate. It is an issue which is of critical importance, not just to my electorate, but to the future of the community here in New South Wales. I look forward to a positive engagement with the Minister for Education on this matter, and I hope that when it comes to preschool education, that the issues that have been raised of quality, the issues that have been raised when it comes to accessibility are taken seriously, but most importantly that we look at, as I described before, the research which indicates that the affordability issue is a key factor when it comes to affordability. So I thank everyone for their contribution on this bill and commend the motion to the House.
I thank the member for Balmain. The question is this motion be agreed to. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.